We are back at it today in this closet, but y'all are never gonna guess what happened. So you know how in the last video, we got done cleaning out all the games and all these shelves or whatever? I'm not even kidding you. My next door neighbor walked over with a box that was like this big of games, of board games. And I was like, and he said, I talked to your husband, he said y'all would be interested in these. And I was too stunned to speak. I said, oh yeah, we are a board game family. And I took them. So anyway, we acquired some new games. Some of them look actually pretty fun. So I did go ahead and go through and donate the ones that I know we will not use, but we have added to the collection already. I don't think my neighbor watches my videos, but if you do, thank you for the box of games. Today we are tackling this bookshelf with the goal of getting this whole bookshelf out of here. So we either are going to get rid of everything or we are going to relocate it onto this shelf. And then, like I'm telling you, I have not touched this corner in years. So with that, I'm kind of excited to see what comes out of here. The only thing that I know is lurking in here somewhere is a new like gel nail remover kit with like tools and stuff. I'm really hoping to find that in here. I think it's good that I have that motivation to keep me going, and you know, maybe it'll be back in this corner so I have to go through everything. I have been known to like, okay, I found it, peace out. No. Y'all are gonna hold me accountable to getting this done. But before we get started, I wanna tell you about our sponsor today, Craftsy. What's Craftsy? They are your online resource for all things creative. You can go on there and find video tutorials, patterns, blog posts, and a wide variety of crafts like painting, sewing, crocheting, photography, baking, and even gardening and woodworking. I love using Craftsy this time of year to get inspiration for gift ideas. In fact, I have been starting to get into watercolor painting, and you know, time's limited, so I've just been doing like fun little watercolors. Well, I thought, I wonder if they have any inspiration for like Christmas greeting cards. So I went on to Craftsy, and I found this cute blog post where Margie Moore gives a tutorial on how to do watercolor Christmas lights. So she basically walks you through how to paint the Christmas lights so it gives kind of a lighted effect. Isn't it cute? I also stumbled upon this animal ear beanie sewing tutorial. It's a video tutorial by Nikki Foyle. And she just does such a great job. I love to sew, but sometimes I can get stuck on like the construction of things, especially clothes and garments that gotta fit just right. Anyway, she did a great job breaking down the process and really gave me the confidence that I can do that too. If y'all are interested in joining the Craftsy community, head down to the description box and click on my link. They have a 1-year premium subscription for $1.49. I don't know how y'all are gonna pass that up. This offer is for new members only. Thank you so much, Craftsy, for sponsoring this video. Okay, I think starting with this top shelf of unused school supplies is like the best place for me to begin because I think it'll help me build momentum. I love these bins. They're from Target, and I actually already have them for another organizing project from like a year ago that I never got to. So we're gonna bring them in here. Most of the bins that I have on this shelf are white, so it'll tie in nicely. I would rather use what I have than have a Pinterest worthy closet, but having everything match is pretty nice too. I also have a trash bag and a giveaway box right here too. So I have everything I need to get started. I just really have to shut my mouth and begin. So let's go. These actually aren't new at all. but I reuse them for different things. Sometimes I put different subjects in there for Eric. I've used them for puzzles. Here's an old puzzle from here's an old preschool kindergarten puzzle that I will empty into like a Ziploc bag and donate, but I always hang on to these. I actually just put our Battleship game in one because the box was falling apart. So they are very handy. I'm gonna put that there. Just like in the last video, I'm really making a point to touch everything. I actually don't think I've ever come in this closet and done that. I've decluttered it before, but as far as going through bins and touching each individual item, I don't think I've ever done. And it's amazing what I've held on to and what has gotten lost in here. I ended up throwing away a ton, giving away a ton. I'm going to show later in the video my giveaway and trash pile. It's kind of crazy how much stuff fit in this closet. These were such a good buy. I think I bought these our first year of homeschooling like 6 years ago. It comes with 1,000 white cards and it comes with 5 binder rings. I've had to replace the binder rings, but this is like a lifetime supply of flashcards. And actually, I found these while cleaning in the last video, but Ella made her states and capital flashcards with them. And see? And we've used these for all sorts of stuff. This was a good buy. All right, we successfully got that shelf cleared. This is all I saved. This is like the school supplies, gently or unused items. So, you know, page protectors, laminating pouches, a little portfolio, clipboard, a few empty journals, folders, binders. So before we go like school supply shopping, I always have them come and shop that shelf. I still need to put this up somewhere high because they love coming in here and getting a fresh spiral or composition notebook. What ends up happening is a few pages will get written in the notebook and then they don't use it, the rest of it. So I need to make sure I try and find a spot that's a little bit out of sight so they don't get into this. Okay, it's actually been a few days since I last checked in and life took me away for a little bit, but I'm really determined to finish this closet today, okay? I was in such a good groove and we were trucking and then life hit. It happens, it's all right. So we're gonna knock this out today. The good news is, remember how I told you my neighbor gave me a whole bunch of games? Well, we were very intentional and we've been playing through those and it's been wonderful bonding with the family and it's been fun having some new games in the mix. So we are gonna keep many of those. Bad news is, remember all those chef boxes I had? And I said, if we don't use these this weekend, we're decluttering them. Well, we didn't use them, so we're decluttering them. They're gone, okay? One thing I've struggled with is holding myself accountable. When I say I'm gonna do something like play through games or make these chef boxes, I need to follow through. Another reason why it's been hard to get back in here is I kind of got paralyzed by this bookshelf because it holds a lot of like maybes, if you will. And also stuff that I don't exactly have a home for yet. It kind of put me in a paralyzed spot, but we're gonna power through. I've told myself, you know what? The hardest part is always starting. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump through the hardest part and start. Here's the perfect example of a maybe and I don't know what to do with. So a few years ago, I actually paid somebody to make these for me. They were only like $12 a sheet and they're like little name labels and stuff that you can put on school supplies. And as you can see, I have used them over the years. I have one for each kid. But realistically, am I gonna use them anymore. And I think of a purpose of these, and then I think, okay, I could make these if I really needed to, if I really had a purpose for them. This is painful, I don't know. Y'all are probably all looking at me like, Shannon, just throw them away. Why do I hang on to this? I don't know. Maybe pile. I also think I want to give the girls an opportunity. You know, they might have stuff that they want to put it on. I know we have water bottles that need it. Okay, see, I'm working it through. Coloring books, donate. This is a perfect example of like, where do I put this? I don't really have a good spot in here for this. So I need to come up with a solution for that. I actually think I'm gonna put that upstairs. Dot, 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 that's trash. Okay. Trash. Trash. Our animal, that's so cute, but we'll never use it. What is y'all's rule of thumb for your books? My rule of thumb for kids' books is it just has to fit on the bookshelf. If things start overflowing, then I go through and sort of prune out ones we don't pick up. But for our books, I don't really have any criteria. Neither Stephen or I are huge readers. We do read, but it tends to be for like informational purposes only. We're not really book readers for enjoyment. So I don't really know what I should hang on to. You know, a lot of these I'm like, yeah, I would love to sit down and read this, but am I ever going to do it? So it's just got me curious. What is y'all's criteria? Let me know your thoughts. Did anyone ever go through a essential oil phase? I did. I went through an essential oil phase, and I actually still use essential oils, but I have these 3 books. I have this one, which is like a pocket guide. I don't think I need this one. Yeah, I don't need that one. And then I have herbal medicines, and I have this desk reference guide. And I actually think I'm going to keep this one. I still use it. I actually have a spot on my arm that I went to the dermatologist twice. Tried to have it frozen off the first time and then cut out the second time. And thankfully, she biopsied it because when I Google imaged it, it said skin cancer. And I know Google is not a doctor. The dermatologist assured me it was not skin cancer and even biopsied it for me just for reassurance. And I forget what she said it was. Anyway, the darn thing grew back again, and I just started putting frankincense on it
a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I think it's actually getting rid of the darn thing. I don't know. Stay tuned. I've had it for a couple of years. It's just, is this too much TMI? All it looks like is like almost like a little blood blister, but it'll get inflamed and stuff, and it just looks, it's right on my arm, and it's very unappealing. So I'd really like for it to heal and go away. So we're trying the essential oil route, and I'll keep you posted. It's right here. I'm not going to show it to you because it's gross. Okay, I'll show it to you. Can see it. It's not going to focus on it, but it's right there. Okay, I have just a few more school supplies here. Going to take care of those and then relocate these books. And that'll free up the bookshelf. Yay! I don't even know if they do Who's Who anymore among American high school students. I'm not even sure what even qualified me to be in this, but I've held on to it for, you know, 25 years, I guess. I'm sure my mom paid a lot of money for this, but my name is, I'm literally a little tiny blurb on this page, and it just lists out like the groups I was involved with, what rank I was in my high school class, which wasn't even 10%. It was almost top 10, but it wasn't even top 10%. And so I'm literally, my name in this whole book right there. And then there's a little picture of me right here. And I mean, it's really cool to have. I don't know, y'all tell me, should I keep that? Like, just put in the sentimental stuff for now? And I'm actually excited about this little corner and what could be hiding in there, what kind of treasures. This shelf is filling up fast again with stuff that we're keeping. Remember, we still haven't organized this yet. That is still to come, and I think we're going to keep this shelf in there and potentially put it right here to make it a little bit more functional. And then everything else, I'm really hoping this is just mostly garbage and I can throw it away or donate it. We don't use this puzzle anymore, so to donate, I'm taking it out of my good bag and putting it in a plastic bag for donation. I think I found these at a garage sale, so I didn't spend full price on them, but why can't I be a label person? Again, good intentions, but at some point, I'm just gonna have to recognize that I'm never gonna use these. I'm just never gonna use them. Speaking of essential oils, this is some leftover stuff, as well as that Grove Collaborative stuff. I think I'm gonna see if my mother-in-law wants this. Trash. Cute rag. Shelf. This is where it's gonna get hard. The funny thing about this shelf is I bought it probably 5 years ago, and I got it, I think, initially for Eric's room to like hang jackets up on and put little knickknacks on, and I never ended up doing that. And then I thought, oh, I'll put this in our bathroom. Our towel bar is like really inconveniently placed over the bathtub. And so I thought, okay, we'll put the towels up and hang them up on here. And then I'm like, well, I don't want, this is a surface, it's gonna get cluttered. I just know it, so I don't want it in my bathroom. And then there's been a couple of cases where I'm like redoing a room or something. I'm like, oh, it would be really nice to have that shelf and put it here. And then I go to look for the shelf and I can't find it. Why? Because it's crammed back here. I think I'm just gonna cut my losses and donate. Nice. Okay, I got that shelf moved and cleaned off. This was pretty much the only thing that was salvageable on that shelf. And this is our puzzle. But basically you roll out this piece of felt and you do your puzzle on top of it. And then this is like, and this is where you store it. Then you take this inflatable tube and you gently roll the puzzle against that, and it keeps your puzzle pieces in place. Very cool tool. If you have a puzzle lover, it would be a really good gift for them. We've got a lot of use out of this puzzle mat. We don't have a designated spot to keep our puzzles sitting out, and so this works really well, actually. I don't put it in the bag. I'll just wrap it up on the mat around the tube and set it in the craft closet, and we can work on a harder puzzle over several days. Oh wow. Oh, wow. This is a giant bag of junk. A giant bag of junk. Okay, we'll go through that in a minute. This is cute. We got this from Jamaica on a cruise. So it's kind of sentimental. So that's what I'm saying. I was a little nervous about this bin. I actually think going through these bags of junk will be less painful than going through that bin of decorations. We have this junk bag. We are always looking for these. And here they are, just hiding. Oh, wow. So dangerous. What a mismatch of stuff. That bag was nobody else's fault but my own. That was a bag of STEM craft supplies for a class I taught 2 years ago at our co-op that still just had school supplies in it. And that's why there was a random knife in there too. Because I probably did something in class that required cutting, and yeah. So that one's on me. Now, would it be just crazy if I just did not go through this and I just dragged it out to the car and took it to the donation center? I am extremely tempted. Nah, I can't just do that. But, because I can already see this one right here. And I mean, that's a classic right there. I can't get rid of that. I think if I can't do something with it now, then it's donate. So if it's not going on a wall now, or going up around the house now, it's out the door. Okay, that was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. So I have a couple pictures of family. I'm going to need to fix that picture. But I can go set those out on the TV stand right now. Then I have this, which I put in here to keep it safe because I didn't want anything happening to it until I could hang it up. But of course I forget about it. Look how gorgeous. And remember how I talked about that bookcase going into like a podcast area for Steven? Or maybe I hadn't said that, but upstairs in our, what used to be our playroom and is now like a theater area, we're going to build out a podcast area for Steven. And this would be very cool to have in the background. Same with this photo that we got on our honeymoon. Steven was a missionary kid growing up in Ecuador, and when we got married, we went there for our honeymoon, and that was one of the paintings we got. But we can do the podcast area with this stuff. Yay, I'm so excited. And then I have stuff like this of like me and my little brother, Steven and I on our engagement photos. Let me see if this has a back. So that's a hang up only. But I do love that picture of us. Then I have these two, which are Christmas photos we did a long, long time ago. The only thing is Eric's not in these. This was pre-Eric. I either need to get some pictures of Eric to help balance it out, or just take the pictures out and put them in a keepsake. But I think I'm going to put this in my Christmas decor for now. And it's almost Christmas time, so we may set those out to help decorate for Christmas. And then, of course, this masterpiece, which needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It's got stuff on it. And then over here, I'm going to take the pictures out of this and put it in keepsake. And then hang this up in a bathroom. I can't believe I forgot about that, but I love that. That I can give away. These things I can give away. So really, I'm not keeping much. I'm so proud of myself. And then the podcast background, we can put this up too. For Leaf, get it? Leaf. Sentimental. And then it can help with the backdrop. I love shopping what I have. Alright, here's the status update. Here's this shelf, still needing to be tidied up. But we got rid of all that stuff. This is like a bin of wires and stuff. We still need to go through that. But while I'm feeling good, I want to tackle this mishmash of stuff. I'm gonna try and do the no declutter method or no clutter method to the best of my ability. So like school glues, trying to put all the school glues together. You want to prioritize what's up high for little fingers to get into. Let's see what's in this one. This magnetic tape. Might hang on to that for a little bit longer. Garbage. I bet you there's going to be a lot of garbage. Alright, here's glue sticks. In total, I pulled out about 5 full trash bags of trash. And I want to say that there were at least 2 to 3 solid giveaway boxes also out of here. And I'm really glad I went through those pictures because we didn't know what we were going to do for his little podcast space. Part of the ministry he's going into is addiction recovery, and he has a lot of good lessons that we're going to get out on YouTube. I think we're going to do it podcast style. We don't really know what that looks like yet, but I'm really excited that I went through that bin and didn't just wheel it on out to the donation, because there's a lot of good stuff that we can use that we don't have to spend money on now. I'm really excited to get to the organization part of this closet, especially this little hangy bin. It doesn't look like it now. It's a hot mess now, but it ended up being a really good system. This is where I would put like the protractors and the compasses for math and calculators and rulers, as well as like watercolors and paintbrushes. And when my kids were, if they did what they were supposed to and they washed the paintbrushes out right away, they could just come back in here and they would air dry in the pockets. It's just been a really great system, and I've just needed to get in there for the longest time and get it reorganized. And then I noticed the trim on this door was pretty nasty, as well as some paint drippage and stuff on the door. So we're getting that wiped up. With a possible move coming up, I'm trying to be really mindful of all these little things that need to be done that have been severely neglected. That door hanger thing was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And in fact, I'm left with 4 extra pockets to use. So I may rearrange these things because the whole reason I got this was to make the stuff that the kids come for first easily accessible, so they don't go into the closet to destroy it. So I may rethink the glue and the stuff on the top. I can officially say we have fully decluttered this closet, and it feels so good. I actually have so much space that I don't know what to do with it, because now I feel like it's a wasted space. Let's take a look at what it looked like at the beginning of part 1. And now look at it. See what I mean? So much space. What should I use it for? Christmas storage? Leave it empty? Y'all, if I leave it empty, my kids will, or my family will figure out something to put in here. I even have this empty shelf, which I may use for organizing some of this stuff. We're gonna have to go back through a few things now that I have found everything and everything is categorized and in its right spot. In the next video, we're gonna figure out if we can get this carpet clean. If you have any recommendations for getting paint out of carpet, that would be helpful. Otherwise, I will be left to my own devices, which could be fun. Here's the box of giveaways, a couple bags of trash, some recycling, and the pictures we got rid of. There's some extra games. Again, I can't believe all this fit in the closet. I have actually 2 bags going here. And then I have some empty bins that we are gonna hang on to until we make it through the organization part of this video. But we got a lot done, and now it's just the fun part. Organizing, making it functional. So come back for that video. We also might need to do a house cleaning video because all my free chore energy has gone into this closet. Well, it doesn't seem like it may have been that long. This has consumed a lot of time and the house has suffered. So I think we're gonna have to check in with the house in the next video and then come back for part 3. And I hope you will join me. Don't forget to head to the description box to get your $1.49 annual membership to Craftsy. You don't wanna miss that one. If you haven't already, go say something kind to yourself and we will see you in the next one.